So we will start now. So it is already 10:01. We will wait 1 or 2 minutes more and then we can start. So we will start the session. Not to waste time. Just yeah. Hello everyone. Good morning. I am Shikha Singh, volunteering as Vice President Professional Development at PMI Mumbai chapter. I hold a BE in Production Engineering from Mumbai University, Green Belt in Lean Six Sigma, and PMP certified from PMI. Professionally, I am working at LRQA Inspection Services India LLP at Mumbai and having over 18 plus years of experience in operations of inspection services and right now handling global projects. So I welcome everyone for today's PM Forum session. So PM Forum is our PM Forums what we used in PMI chapters are a format used by Project Management Institute chapters for discussion and networking among project professionals. PM forums can be a valuable way to stay up to date on industry trends, learn new techniques, and build relationships with other project managers. So, I welcome again all the project managers for this wonderful session. And today's topic is setting up a program management office PMO or value realization office VRO. And today's speaker to present this topic is Mr. Amit Toshniwal, who is PMP CSM. He is head of program management at Balakrish Industries Limited. A brief introduction of Amit, I just want to give. It's Mr. Amit Toshniwal is currently DGM and head of program management at BKT, which is Balakrishna Industries, working on driving business and digital transformation projects for the organization. He specializes in process design and business re-engineering projects. And an illustrious personality with 2 decades of corporate experience working across India, US, UK, UAE, Singapore with industry renowned IT and business consulting companies like L&T Finance, Sher Khan, Publicis Sapient, AIMIA, IBM, and Canbay Capgemini. He is a specialist in the field of project management, business transformation, business consulting, product design. He holds a leadership certificate in digital transformation and AI from IIM Lucknow, MBA in IT and marketing from Nirma University, backed by engineering degree from Pune University. A PMI champion with PMP CSM certifications and an active member of PMI Mumbai chapter. A strong orator with over 1,000 hours of mentoring sessions in domains of project management, product development, and management consulting, and over 200 hours of public sessions as a SME expert panelist and moderator. So I'm just sharing his LinkedIn profile. You can connect it with him in the chat box. You can connect with him afterwards. And please post questions in the chat box and same will be answered at the end of the session by the speaker. So I request Mr. Amit Toshniwal to start his session, please. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'll just
Shikhaji.
I'll just unshare that. Welcome, Amit. I'll just unshare this.
Welcome. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And thank you for the warm welcome. I will start sharing my screen. Let me know once you're able to see. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. And thank you for taking time today on this weekend to work with me on the journey of my experiences and my learnings that I have gathered over a couple of years as the head of program management in setting a program management office or value realization office. Now, a lot of people may have a understanding that PMO is a word used for project management office or program management office. Yes, it's a common terminology which is used across. Some people use it as PGMO or some people use it as PMO. Um, Terminologies don't matter. What matters is the value realization that we achieve out of it. In today's session, the objective is very much compact that we are looking at. We have a large business landscape, the technology is evolving, the industries are evolving. Establishing the program management office or the value realization office becomes very critical because things have started moving from tactical to strategic, from very day to day to operational excellence. This particular team or department serves as the backbone of not just the project governance, but ensuring that all the project programs and initiatives are planned right, executed right, monitored right to achieve the business objectives. People, process, tools, resources, risks, performance across programs and projects. We see that these are terminologies and these are facets that everybody works through. But the Department of Program Management Office ensures that not only the programs and projects are delivered on time and budget, but they achieve the objectives. Fostering a culture of Kaizen or continuous improvement and strategic insight is what this department is focusing on. We will cover the basic questions that everybody understands. What is the Program Management Office or Value Realization Office? Why does the organization of the future need it? Who should be part of this department? When is it the right time to form this department? Where does this department fit and how to form this department? So it's a very simple way I'm going to take it. There are questions. A lot of people have questions. They may have some thoughts, some prior experiences, and some misconceptions. We will walk through this, and then at the end of the session, I'll be able to share my insights on any questions that are. So a very tabular form. There's some everybody likes a little tabular structure saying that okay, PMO project management office versus program management office. It's a very tabular structure that says what are the responsibilities, what's the scope, and what are the deliverables. Project management office standardizes project management practices. Program management office standardizes business objectives and outcomes. Project management office takes care of the methodologies, templates, governance. Program management office focuses on defining the deliverables, measurables of the business value and tracking the business realization. Project management office provides support to project managers, whereas program management office works with the business units, finance, and strategy teams. Project management office is focusing on single projects or a portfolio of independent projects in a tactical or execution focus, whereas program management office focuses on the strategic focus outcomes, the programs, the organizational change, and long-term value. If you see the deliverables, there are dashboards, reports, methodologies, trainings that the project management office does, but the program management offices supports the leadership on the roadmaps, the value maps, the business case tracking, and the strategic alignment frameworks. Now, it is an upgrade. It's the see, these are, I'll give it very common analogy. Program management office is an upgraded version of project management office. The project management office is your basic car, a sedan. The program management office upgrades you to a more luxury sedan or a more premium version of the sedan. We look at what is the program management office focus. Now we will always have a understanding that okay, what are the various types of program management office? How do we do it? So there are basically three types of program management office, which is based on the organizational maturity. They can either be supportive in nature, they can be controlling in nature, or they can be directive in nature. Supportive will be purely, okay, advisory, consulting, that's it. Controlling would be actively participating, executing the projects along with the project management team and working hand to hand. Directive would be more of at a strategy level where the portfolio or the programs design, define, and execution roadmap is driven by the program management office. Now, always there'll be an understanding that, okay, should I start supportive? Should I start controlling? Should I start? It's an organizational choice, and the criteria for choosing it is listed down based on what I have experienced. It's an organizational culture. Sometimes a very large organization may be focusing on saying, we will do small steps. Okay, you start with supportive. Sometimes the project and program management maturity, OPM3 and PMO maturity Q, is adopted within the organization. So the organizations can directly jump to taking a controlling and directive program management office. Programs and project complexity. Now, if you have a smaller set of projects and programs, then it doesn't make sense to go for a directive or a center of excellence kind of a thing. You rather go for a controlling and supportive program management office. Sometimes the strategic alignment is driven by purely departments. There are organizations that typically either are driven through services or products, or they are driven by sales, or they are driven by technology. And depending on this kind of strategic alignment that organization has, you can take an understanding of the budget that you want to align and choose one of these three levels where you want the program management office to. Now, my two cents, there will be certain snippets will see my two cents. But these are words that typically should resound or reverberate when you think of a program management office team member or the department. The department should be a catalyst, process champion, innovator, mediator, mentor, advisor, knowledge hub, multifaceted, jack of all trades. Now, these may be adjectives, but they are my two cents of understanding that these are the skill sets that one will look forward for somebody who is part of the program management office. When we think more about what this program management office department focuses on value realization through these five components. Now you look at the chakra, it has got the five components which has strategic and leadership vision. If the CEO, the COO have a certain vision to take forward in the organization, that strategic and leadership vision is converted to quantitative program by the program management office, who then sets up the governance structures and processes, monitors and drives the change of adoption for the processes and structure, quantifies and measures the value realization from time to time, sets the controls, KPIs, KRAs, and importantly, ROI. Every enterprise organization focuses primarily on returns of their investment, either for the primary shareholders or the investors. So, point number four becomes a very important aspect when you set up a program management office to focus on value realization. And this value realization also comes from continuous quality, continuous learning, and continuous innovation. So we covered what the program management office means, what are the levels, and what is its representation in terms of the five steps in a chakra. When we look at what, we understand what is it for the organization, what is it for the department, what is it for the investor that this particular department will deliver. Then this picture comes into mind. This is an air traffic control. Now, air traffic control center is a perfect representation of the program management office. The ATC tower is the most critical part in an airport. They not just plan, they execute, they monitor, they govern, they give focus, and they provide instructions. In the absence of the ATC tower, the airport will not be as effective and functional as it should. They may have all the fancy tools and gadgetry. So will the program management office. They will have to design the processes. So will the program management office. They will monitor, mentor, and train the ground level airport staff. So will the program management office. Now, there was a huge, what do you say, workshop that I had conducted with one of the B schools, where it was very clearly discussed and understood that okay, what are the similarities between a program management office and an air traffic control. That's the reason I put this image to give a recall as to what should one think when they think of setting up a program management office. Getting into a little theory. Project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Program is a collection of related projects plus operations plus maintenance plus other tasks. And portfolio is a collection of programs and projects consolidated by a common sponsoring enterprise or a funding source. Now, important aspect, common sponsoring enterprise or a funding source. From time to time in the presentation, I would be focusing on sponsors, return on investments, and funding because unlike a project management office, which is more tactical in nature, the program management office will be responsible for keeping a check on the return on investment. Now, when this pyramid comes into picture, the standard question comes is, how does the program management office fit? The program management office, sorry, okay, I think somebody was not on. So program management office focus as a value realization office across the portfolio, the programs and the projects. They drive the value. When it comes to why does the organization of the future need it? Very clean. Prioritization of the investments by business value. See, I referred the earlier slide that there will be investment, funding, sponsor, and ROI. That is the primary point. An organization may have a set of initiatives, a set of programs, a set of tasks and operational activities. And they will have a limited budget. Within that budget, some would be for operations, some would be for strategic investments and development, and some would be for projects and programs. However, these investments will have to prioritize by the business value. Now, business value realization matrix is a tabular model which can be built. It can be either the McKinsey scorecard or it can be a custom scorecard. It is all from organization to organization different, but the prioritization of these investments thus roll up as the priority initiative backlog. Similar to a project or an agile product backlog, you have a business value backlog. Now, that backlog may have programs, that backlog may have projects, that backlog may have product development, that may have service, that may have operations, but there'll be a priority number associated to it. There'll be investment amount associated to it. There'll be a return on investment associated to it. And there'll be a tenure of return of investment associated to it. Now, this entire scorecard is driven by the program management office. Now, when the leadership or the board sits and evaluates, this scorecard is a quantitative measure that helps them understand okay, these are the finite set of the initiatives for this year or next year or the next to next year and over the period of 5 years. This is how I'm looking at my investments and returns. This is the tenure. These are the red, amber, green indicators This is the risk scoring of each of these. This is the people count. This is the attrition count. This is why my CSAT score is looking at X number. My ESAT score is looking at X number. Now, this scorecard can run into multiple columns. Honestly, it all depends from organization to organization. I have maintained the scorecard which has got up to 21 different columns, permutation combinations. But again, organization to organization, it's a difference. Then comes the management of organization transformation. The world is fast evolving. If you look at the Gardner waves, the Forrester scorecard, there's a life cycle to everything. So, in order to align to the life cycle, you have to transform. The transformation can be at a people level, process level, tools and technology level. It can be at partner level. It can be at it can be at various people, process, tools, technology, partners, and we can say it can be publicity. As an organization, you may have certain aspiration to go public market, or you can have your own initiatives that this is my branding idea, but you need to manage the transformation. Let's say, for example, um, there are organizations that have certainly transformed the face of how business is done. Amazon is there, then Netflix is there, then you have organizations like Lagio that have transformed over this period and life cycle from being certain products and deliverables to another level. Companies like IBM have moved in from hardcore hardware companies to hardware, software, and solution consulting companies. So that transformation is managed and driven through the program management office. You strategically align your priorities and resources because every organization will be having finite resources, both in terms of money and in terms of people. So the strategic alignment is the focus that the program management office will try. This is where we answer, why does the organization of the future need it as a department? Then everybody says, I need it. But they always focus on why we should be investing, because I don't have something. I'm lacking something. So I'm changing the focus to a more optimistic and positive angle. Say the management should focus on need and not on lack. It's a very drastic difference in terms of looking at things. The glass can be half full or half empty. I'm saying the management will focus on half full, quenching the thirst, and the remaining half has an opportunity to add more. The program management office brings this focus to drive the evaluation and prioritization, thus sequencing the investments. So glass half full, I can invest either half water, or I can add some ice and make it chill, or I can add in some syrup and make it as a drink, or I can just drink it and add a little bit more different flavor. It's an evaluation, prioritization, and sequence of investment. Now, the organization should be in need of project management best practice to govern the value delivery, optimize risk, and improve returns. Now, there is always a set off. There's always a set off in terms of investments versus returns, risks, and returns. A lot of times, project management limits itself to just saying, okay, this is what is there, this is the data, please take a decision. But the roadmap is driven through a program management focus that brings in structure, that brings in processes, that brings in accountability for the organizational transformation. They will be focusing not just on now or this project, they will be focusing on the 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year roadmap as a starter. Anything that is less than 5 year, will be a less strategic focus. But if something is a roadmap of 5 years, it's a more strategic focus. Now, organizations may be flat or they may be multi-hierarchical, but they will always be multifaceted. There'll always be technology, there'll be production, there'll be manufacturing, there'll be quality, there'll be sales, there will be marketing, there'll be um, compliance, legal, there'll be multiple departments. Now, if if the organization is in need of multi-layered and multifaceted management reporting, they need to have a right focus, which will be investment in the program management office that will deliver this outcome. When the strategic alignment of resources by priority is done, aligned with the organization vision, industry trends, and real time decisions, is when you start seeing quicker results. I'll give you a very simple example of the banking and financial services industry. Banking and financial services industry was focusing a lot on people before COVID. COVID taught them that you need to align with the vision of reducing the turnaround time for a customer servicing. Customer may have account opening, customer may have account service, may have service request. You can digitize it, automate it. You don't need to have a person in the branch for it. The organizational vision was aligned to the industry trend, saying COVID is there. You can't have people in office. So industry trend is there. Real-time decision making said, I will do your video KYC. This entire initiative can be driven through program management office on a continuous basis. You don't need to wait for COVID. You don't need to wait for another natural disaster or catastrophe to drive this transformation. You have the program management office that is looking at a company's or organization's 3 year, 5 year, 1 year roadmap, aligning it with the industry trend. The industry trend says, I am focusing on data analytics, then I'm focusing on business intelligence, then I'm focusing on artificial intelligence, then I'm focusing on agentic AI. And in my real-time decisions is then be an agentic AI whom a customer can speak and get a decision. Now, this did not require a catastrophe. It was driven through a program management office of multiple organizations. You see, the beauty is in continuous development and continuous innovation. Why? Most important questions. A lot of the team members with me on the call may be holding leadership positions, senior positions in the organization. They're like, why I do need a program management officer, a value realization office? Because we say it explicitly or not, we definitely need a team whose outlook and perspective is not colored. Somebody who's got a neutral perspective to everything. Somebody who doesn't look at this particular glass being half full or half empty, who says, what is the value I can derive out of the glass? Somebody who knows how to bring method to the madness. Honestly, irrespective of what everybody says, there is madness a little bit in every organization, and that is necessary. When people are very passionate about what they do, how they do, they become aligned on colored perspectives. And then starts the madness. So this department brings the method to the madness, quantifies the madness and the work that needs to be done, that steers and gives direction, inculcates discipline, acts as a consultant, sounding board, or a feedback loop, helps the management take data driven decisions for continuous improvement. Now, imagine a product company who is developing a certain software utilized in a particular industry. Let's say The software is utilized in terms of banking. The software may be in telecom, let's say telecom. A continuous evolution of telecom fields is there. There's a continuous evolution of the entire spectrum of 5G. There are data services. There's continuous development. Now, a program management office will bring the method to madness, help them navigate it. It will be like the lighthouse or the beacon that gives a sailor a direction. Should be part of this department. Now, I have purposefully put the image of Lord Krishna out here. Of course, it's generated by AI because there are certain excerpts from his leadership style that the program management office should learn and adopt on a day-to-day basis. I will connect it a little bit to mythology because a lot of people here have been watching TV serials, OTT, Mahabharata, and other things, but the common element has always been a Krishna element. So a little bit of connect, only purely from a learning and mythology understanding perspective. Krishna had strategic thinking and business acumen. He navigated the entire Mahabharata war. He tried for peace, he tried for negotiation, but he navigated the strategy of the war. Program and portfolio management experience. Now, Krishna was not just guiding Pandavas, he was shaping the entire Aryavart or the entire India, Bharatvarsh future. That was setting up processes, that was setting up governance, that was setting up the guidelines for suitable ruling, expert in change management. He was driving the change. He made Arjuna do the penance. He made Arjuna eligible for the war. He gave him the knowledge of Gita. He said, embrace the change. He was very strategic in doing stakeholder engagement. He connected with the right people who became allies in the war. Data driven decision making and value realization. Now, this is a very, very important aspect. If you have seen Mahabharata, at the end of the day, Krishna always like how many soldiers are left, how many did we lose, what is the positives, what are the pros and cons of doing this decision, how do I realize the best value out of the current situation. He ensured that there is expertise in leadership and team development. He had the ability to train, mentor, and groom skills and talent. Last but not the least, Lord Krishna was diplomatic, but he was truthful. It may not be an understanding for everybody, but this is an art developed over a period of time, and this department particularly will need to learn this art. So, people who can absorb, incorporate these skill sets should be part of the department. When is the right time to form a PO? The program management office? When do we do it? You see, this image is particularly like this guy who's the senior leader is looking for like, what do I do? When do I do it? There are so many people I have to address. The right time is when the leadership accepts that there is chaos. Unless until people like us accept that I have a problem, we do not go to a doctor. Until unless somebody pushes us, we do not go to a doctor. So the leadership will either from proactive effort or from advisory accept that there is a state of chaos, we need to evolve. We need to have a structured evolution, transformation, direction, and value realization. The leadership has got a vision, mission, values, and strategy to be formulated and to be executed. Organizations may have vision, mission, values, and strategy, but over a period of time, they transform, they evolve. Every evolution is a change, and the change management needs to be formulated and executed. And there is an executive sponsor who is driven by a passion to change. Very, very important aspect to understand. There should be one executive sponsor who can fight tooth and nail with the passion to say, we need to transform, we need to change. And in order to do the change, we need to have a structured execution. And that structured execution is brought in by the program management office. When this realization is there across the senior leadership, is when you have the right time to form the program management office. Now, one size doesn't fit all. You can see that this particular elephant is trying to fit his t-shirt to a small animal. It's uh, rat, rabbit, something animation. Don't know, but it's very clearly depicting that one size doesn't fit all. So when the management realizes what is the type of PMO they would like to form, they should initiate the discussion. When the organization is clear on the current process maturity and goal for achieving process maturity, there's a scorecard which says my project and program management maturity model and matrix. It's from PMI. I have given the links to. The organization goes through it, arrives at a score saying that, okay, my score on the scale of 1 to 5 or a 1 to 10 is at certain level. This certain level means A, B, C, D, E areas are of which A and B are at a score of low, B, C, and D are at a score of medium, and E is at a high score. But my organizational vision wants me to go from this score to this score at a cumulative level. And at an individual section level, I need to go from score X to Y. And the organization is clear, then they should initiate. There is a third party due diligence and auditor who comes in and says there should be a program management office, then also it is initiated. When the client regulatory or legal requirements say it should be there, then it should be initiated. Last but not the least, when there is a budget. Of course, everything has a cost to it. So, top to bottom, let's understand organization leader who has a passion, who's an executive sponsor. The other leaders are in alignment that there is chaos. They define vision, mission, values, objectives. They understand we want to change, transform, structure process, get into understanding what kind of program management we want to do an assessment. Once the assessment is done, get into the maturity target. So there are layers that you need to go through before formulating it. That is when you have the entire layers pass through. Should you start hiring and putting this department in place? Check the pulse of the right time. Now, these are some of the parameters you need to check in the box. When there is accountability, responsibility, and authority that is defined for the department, only then you initiate the department. It should not be like, बना लो देखेंगे आएंगे लोग, we will evolve over time. No. This is where organizations may have a larger problem in the future, in the very near future, because they have not defined the accountability, they have not defined the responsibility, they have not defined the authority. Spider-Man says, there's a movie, Spider-Man, and in that there's a nice dialogue that says, with great power comes great responsibility. But with great responsibility also comes accountability to execute the responsibility. So you have an authority, you have a responsibility, you have an accountability. This department is backed by the vision, the decision, and the promotion to make this department successful from the executive sponsor. These two checks confirm that there is a backlog of initiatives that needs to be evaluated from a business value prioritization perspective. We want to evaluate the ROI and the goals against the backlog. And once these three are there, then we move on to the next stage, which is engaging the stakeholders to answer the question is what is in it for me? You should define what value will the program management office bring to finance, to technology, to manufacturing, to sales, or whichever projects are going to be there. It should not be another headcount or another metric monitoring team. This is what's in it for me. Stakeholders should be there. There should be a roadmap to execute the backlog. And Kaizen should be incorporated as an organizational culture to ensure that there is continuous learning and continuous improvement. There should be executive sponsor, there should be a buy-in and a funding that is formalized. Now, each of these checks in the boxes is where you say, okay, done, 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 done. When a large chunk of this is done, you get yourself a clarity that this is the right time I should be executing and building the department better. A lot of people have this misconception. यार आईटी के पास लगा दो प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट ऑफिस मेजॉरिटी प्रोजेक्ट्स आईटी के होते हैं नहीं program management office should report to the board of directors or the executive management, the CEO or the COO, the senior president, president or one of those directors. इनसे नीचे नहीं जाना चाहिए प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट ऑफिस. The project management office can sit by department, by business heads, or by IT. That is more tactical. The strategic program management office should be either of these three leaders where it should be. Because they ideally will be drivers and contributors to strategy and board meetings. They will be driving the vision, planning, and budget. They will be drivers for monthly reviews and quarterly reviews. They would be owners for organization level rollout of initiatives and transformation projects. Now, my 2 cents of understanding here is this department should be in the closest proximity to the executive leadership. They should be eyes and ears to the leadership. And the leadership mostly is based at head office. So they should be at head office. They should be in the close proximity and confidence of finance team. Because ultimately everything requires money investment. There's a very nice saying one of my mentors said, when numbers and money speak, nobody listens to the grammar. Everybody listens to what is being spoken by the finance and numbers. So this department will need to be in close proximity and should be in confidence with the finance team. Being in line with the technology, they should be collaborating with the BI analytics AI team. Because there are lots of things that they need to do. You cannot do this in a very, very administrative, tactical, step-by-step document management model. No. You should use the tools and techniques. In fact, the PMI AI tool is one of the tools that I use on a regular basis for evaluating my projects. It has become my virtual sounding board. And I would urge people to evaluate it because honestly, it's a pretty nice tool. If your organization has got an AI tool, please use it to the fullest. Train your own models. It is very, very beneficial. You can, in fact, use it to generate reports which take days and weeks and months. Misconception is generally simpler than true understanding, hence is more popular. So clearing some misconceptions. This is not a 2 minute instant solution specialist team की ये मैगी बना के दे देगी आपको आपको खाना है. This is a long term yoga or a long term sports coach team. This is the team that will help you win the Olympic medal if you do it right. They believe ये tactical है, administrative है, reporting है, management के some fancy titles दिए हुए लोग हैं जो आएंगे पीपीटी एक्सेल बनाएंगे सब रोड में आपका एक ग्राफ दिखाएंगे some fancy presentation some fancy words देंगे नहीं. Strategy drive होती है यहाँ. This is MIS admin reporting role. No. MIS admin and reporting is just the output of everything, not just strategy. The most common misconception is this program management office is applicable only for IT projects. No. You can do program management on greenfield projects, brownfield projects. You can do it for product development. You can do it for marketing. You can do it for finance. You can do it for any department that you conceptualize that has a potential to have a strategic initiative. The department only increases work and reporting. ये सिर्फ काम बढ़ाते हैं हमारा. Meetings और काम बढ़ाने का काम. Now, a lot of people have in fact made their value realized only through meetings and through increasing paperwork, and that is where this misconception has creeped in. So we as professionals and proper users of program and project management principles should focus on optimization. And this optimization needs to be aligned with the organizational and the functional heads KRAs and KPIs. If the KRA and KPI of the functional head and the organization goal is to launch a product, we cannot get into filling in multiple sheets. We will have to focus more on the strategic milestones, the value realization at each, crunching and crashing the critical path, understanding key resources utilization into the project and program, understanding what part is in-house, what is outsourced, what should be procured, what should be built. Now, these are decisions that will happen in bits and pieces. So the common element and the gel that brings all of this together is the program management office. Nice. You can see this is Lord Hanuman with wings and writing code and handling UFOs and flying over Lanka. This is the image I have generated using AI, but this is what is expected. Actually, लोगों का expectation ये होता है कि आप सुपर ह्यूमन है. 1% कैन डू एवरीथिंग. एक आदमी लगा दो सब कुछ कर लेगा. नहीं, पॉसिबल नहीं है. इस इमेज की तरह इस इमेज को जनरेट करने के लिए मुझे 4-5 आइट्रेशंस लगे. वैसे ही not everybody can be Hanuman. Lord Hanuman is a superhuman. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do a one-man army kind of a thing. But then what happens is there are certain Bollywood dialogues that come. You ask for more resources and the answer comes as management nahi manegi. Then you recall a Three Idiot ki movie mein, Then you do something and then it fails. Understanding failures, learning from them is a cycle. But then they say, अरे बड़े बड़े कंपनीज में छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती है. Then comes the most standard statement. एक बार मैनेजमेंट को जो कमिटमेंट कर दी तो मैं खुद की भी नहीं सुनता. Projects have to be shelved down. Programs have to be cut short. The organization has a change. So adoption of the change from time to time is important. डर के आगे टारगेट से, वेरी स्टैंडर्ड थिंग. एवरी सेल्स गाय लाइक डर के आगे टारगेट से, मुझे मैनेजमेंट ने बोला है करो. All of this keeps happening, and then what happens is they say एक प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट ऑफिस का बंदा लगा दो, जितना रायता फैला है वो सब साफ कर दो. एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है कि दैट गाय या तो स्ट्रेटेजी ड्राइव कर सकता है या वैल्यू रियलाइजेशन ड्राइव कर सकता है, और दैट पर्सन कैन सिट एंड डू स्टिचिंग, पार्ट ए पार्ट बी पार्ट सी पार्ट डी स्टिच कर रहे हैं. कोई क्यूमुलेटिव पिक्चर नहीं. सी, I don't know how many people have visited Rajasthan, but in Rajasthan there are blankets that are shown. Okay, Rajwadi blankets. Now there are two kinds of blankets. One which is beautifully hand woven, end to end full fabric, which is a strategic in that sense for a lot expensive price. And then there are other kinds of blankets which are stitched together with pieces and bits of royal. So discarded royal attach, cuts into bits and pieces, they're converted into blankets. Both are nice, but one is an accumulation of patches and one is an end-to-end beauty creator. So that's the difference between doing a non-strategic work and a strategic work, which is a beautiful end-to-end creation. The big how. Everybody's been looking for, like, how do I build this successful department? Big how. Absolutely right. Now, I have shared my experience here. It may or may not be 100% applicable to everybody, and it may not be 100% comprehensive to cover every single scenario, but it has a fair understanding across multiple industries. There's an 8-layer organizational VRO framework that I have learned and built. These are 8 components. Each of these components is a module in itself, consisting of multiple process guidelines, multiple SOPs, multiple metrics, and sub frameworks. Let's start with definition. Every organization has a definition of a portfolio, program, project, operations, or maintenance. Now, this definition should be an initiation framework to understand this is how any initiative can be categorized into either of these 5 categories. When it is 5 categories, these are the RACI components. These are the people who will be involved. This would be the operating team who will deliver it. This would be the strategic consulting team. These are the various components that we will evaluate as a delivery out of this. Now, going down from a definition, how will I review this? There will be a product backlog, there'll be a project backlog, there'll be a program backlog, and there's an organizational value backlog. That value backlog is aligned to the vision, mission, goals, values, which you see here. So the strategy part has got the vision, mission, goals, values, products and services roadmap, and the initiatives backlog. Now you see the L, definition, strategy, and governance, is where your foundation starts. You define, you align it to the strategy, and you govern it. What are the KPIs? What are the KRAs? What are the review mechanisms? Weekly, monthly? What are the targets? How do you evaluate the ROI, risks, dependency? ESG. It's one of the components now which has been catching up a lot of attention and a lot of focus. Every project should have an ESG focus. Now, a lot of people didn't know, including me, till a couple of days back, that every AI prompt that you write consumes a certain level of carbon footprint. Now, that carbon footprint, if you keep on loading, rolls up into multiple kgs of carbon footprint. I didn't know that, how to judiciously use it. something, organization to organization different. So we build a foundation using definition, strategy, and governance. Then we roll up into the change management, to culture, learning, and development. New skills, new tools, techniques, continuously change the process, innovate, focus on the customer experience. Now, each of these components will have a statement of purpose, standard operating procedure, metrics, RACI, execution model, who is authorized to make the change, who is authorized to approve, how do you measure the success, definition of that. When you work on projects, program, portfolio, you build a change model, then the question comes is, what competencies do I need to be successful? Then comes the people, process, and technology competencies. Now, this can be either driven through HR, through technology team, or through the program management team. Either of them can act as advisors or implementers of competency. Now, when you have competency, you have strategy, you have governance, somebody will have to write down the processes, digitize the process, and automate. Now, if I ask somebody कि आपको ऑन ए डेली बेसिस 50 फील्ड फिल करने हैं, वो भाग जाएगा. As simple as that. I will take Excel from a day-to-day quick commerce or a day-to-day Amazon or a day-to-day Zomato. You log in there, it will have its own intelligence in terms of my last ordered, my favorites, drag drop, reduces steps. वैसे ही you should have charters digitized with the requirement traceability with the project delivery process PDP that says it is waterfall, click, auto generate templates components, you start building, tag it to the governance, tag it to the strategy, and in the definition of the portfolio management, keep reviewing the overall value realized. Once all of this is done, you then focus on the planning in alignment with your initiative backlog. Is it quarterly? Is it annually? What is your 1, 3, 5 year roadmap? And where is it that you're realizing value? Now, if you see the value realization roadmap, which will be part of the program management office primary deliverables, you will see it by quarter to quarter, by month to month, there will be a roll down. There will be an accumulation in order, saying that, okay, this is what value you are delivering. Let's say you're going to launch a new product, you will always want to launch it by a certain time based on your organizational model, based on the products and services, based on your consumer consumption pattern, based on the market cycle. You will always launch a new financial plan with the new financial year budget. So your value realization map aligns to your strategy that defines the project portfolio. Now, the last is my favorite box, which is transformation design. This is where a lot of organizations now have started to focus and hand over this design to the program management office, because you are not building a home that will go into redevelopment in 20, 30, 50 years. You're going to build a monument of a value realization that is going to take lifetime of value. So you have to build centers of excellence. You can build a digital and technology center of excellence that can contain technology stack, Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, whatever technology stack. You can build in data and analytics COE. You can build in AI ML COE. You can build in automation COE. You can build in architecture COE. You can build in an infrastructure COE. You can build in as many COEs as you believe will contribute value to your strategic vision and your portfolio aligned with your annual planning, your 135 program. Now, this is a 8 matrix. You, as an organization, can say, I don't need 8, I need 4. Fine. But at least understand that there are components which will be common. As long as they are taken care, you define your own framework. This is what I have built. This is what is my learning and experience. Can change from organization to organization. ABCD. Now it's a little bit of a more uh, disciplined thing. First, you assess A, then you build the plan, then you communicate the plan and win in short steps, and you take the decision to the next level. Analyze, build, communicate, and decide the next level. My personal suggestion, define the choice you want to take. You can either go with a big bang approach, you can go in incremental or continuous approach, or you can go in a phased approach. All of them have their four pros and cons. Big bang will have a shorter rollout time, shorter pain, but it will be a culture shock. Is your organization built for that kind of culture shock? Suddenly, you start to say that, okay, all of these XYZ tasks are to be digitized. Kal say no paperwork. Do you really think that will be working fine? In times like COVID, it worked. In times of demonetization, pay QR codes and UPI work. Big bang. Shorter rollout time, pain frustration was lesser, but the cost of recuperating was high. There was satisfaction, dissatisfaction, don't know. Now, some senior citizens, some people from tier 2 and 3, they were like, I have a risk in terms of using UPI. Yes, there is a risk, but it evolved over time. Till the time it settles down, you generally have to invest rather waste a little time in saying, okay, I hear you, you have paid. Then there is something which most organizations do, which is incremental. So you go incremental, you say this quarter this change, next quarter this change, next quarter, and you publish at the start of this year that yeah, you can anticipate these changes in coming in quarter. We will start by first saying every project will be measured, quantified, value realized, qualitative and quantitative. Quarter one. Quarter two, I will measure your ROI, your planned and actual spend, and map it to the value realization framework. It builds in the culture to see the ROI. Now, the advantage is when you start speaking ROI, you are aligned with the CFO. You are aligned with the CEO. When you are aligned with the senior most two leaders who sign your check, your salary, trust me, you see more clearly what the organization wish. The time to implement may be larger here because it takes quarter on quarter time, quarter on quarter implementation, then learnings, incorporation. Or you can go in phase. You can say, I will implement this entire thing for IT first. I'll implement this for product development second. I'll implement this for finance third. Fine. It will be smaller cost to work with, but ROI will be sporadic and siloed. You will have challenges. One department gone transformational, more automated, no paperwork. Another will be still working on it. Now, I'm giving a little context over digitization a lot more because technology has no longer remained as a tool. It has become the DNA in everything. Success factors. Now, 1 to 8. To build a strong pension, you need a strong mix of ingredients in the foundation. So these are critical success factors when you want to build in a really successful program management office. Is one, you need to have your leadership commitment. Executive sponsor leadership commitment ke bina, this department fails. And most organizations have a challenge because the minute the leadership changes, वो commitment भी गया. So the commitment should come from the senior most leadership to ensure that that leader is invested in the success of the department, which then trickles down to organizational practices, project management practices, and you can answer who's going to be the stakeholder, what's in it for them, how to do continuous improvement, with what tools, what are my assets and allies. The asset is somebody who's a champion for me. That person is an asset for me in implementation. I will build that asset and ally. I will reduce my liability and return. Honestly, no organization is perfect. And no organization says that I will have only assets, I will have no liabilities or detractors. There will be people. But you can only increase your strengths, you can reduce your weaknesses. That's how you focus on. These are the critical success factors using which you can build in a great foundation for a transformational value realization. Building the PPT, favorite thing in every organization, PPT, but it is not the PowerPoint presentation, it's people present to understand as is, do a gap assessment, implement changes to achieve the results. This is a 3 by 3 matrix where Kaizen is there through and through, from as is to journey and to be. However, the program management office will build the governance across the people, process, and tools. People need to be onboarded for portfolio analysis. Their RACI should be defined. Their RACI should map to their KPIs and annual goals. There should be a resource vision and plan. There should be an executive leadership vision plan. You have to start building champions. You have to build the COEs. You have to build dashboards and scorecards. You have to start with portfolio list, charters, scorecards, governance policies, revisiting indicators and dashboards, sturdy governance and ROI, tools for data collection, tools and technologies for data analysis and quality management, digitization, and automated KPIs. Every single row of this is written out of my personal experience because this has been a journey that I have learned with multiple leaders that I have worked with. 60-90 roadmap. It may sound very theoretical, but honestly, you need it because let's say somebody is going from Mumbai to Pune, you at least need a roadmap. Okay, I'm going by the express highway, I'm going by the regular old highway. What will happen in the first 15 minutes? I may hit the Kalamboli flyover, there'll be some traffic at Panvel, and then I go a little further, then there'll be Lonavala, and then I'll take a break. I will get down and I will have some snacks, and then I will do this. You have already envisioned in your mind. What stops you from envisioning on your departmental implementation? Is immersion, first circle and second circle. Now, these are concepts that I have built in from multiple learnings. First circle is your first point of contact. In the first 2 weeks, you have to get engaged, embedded, and aligned with them. They are the people who give you the booster to survive. The second circle immersion is the tactical or operational immersion, where you understand finance, technology, HR, processes, KRAs, KPIs, coffee and cookie session or chat pe charcha, whatever you believe is working for you, should be done with these individual project program line managers to understand what is their pain and gain. Now, design thinking, which is Stanford concept, comes from pain and gain matrix. I learned it and I implemented it here in the second circle, and that helped me build a successful action plan round one. Because action plan round one is where you do short term quick wins, you define the success, you do your value stream, you percolate these wins across in smaller segments. You have champions, you build the champions, you give them the successful wins, and you elevate their level. This is the hardest part because this is where you are doing ground breaking out or ice breaking, or you can say pilot, beta, whatever you say. This is where you start with the resistance. Action plan round two is more of like, okay, we did a Chatka approach. We tried out the first card. We broke the ice. We set the expectations. We got management approvals. We did a pilot. Now we are setting the ball in motion. So you then started review after the first monthly review, then the second monthly review. Then you do a Kanban. You understand early warning signs. You refine the way the program management office influence changes on the KRAs and KPIs. This department is not like Golimar. This department should be more like mentor. Okay, I will help you overcome your challenges, your weaknesses. I will enhance, support, and improve your strengths. I will highlight you in the right forum so that your success is the organization's success. I will bring in the best practice and I will bring in the governance to give you a right direction. Giving a reference back to Krishna, Lord Krishna did not pick up a single weapon in the entire Mahabharata war, but he was instrumental, strategically guide to the Pandavas and their entire army to succeed. Now, these are some MR, PI, PS, QM, TT, FI. These are work streams where you will have to build certain tools, techniques, and processes over the last 2 weeks to ensure that there's a sustainable model where लोगों का headache कम हो, काम आसान हो, सक्सेस ज्यादा. With that, I have completed my section of my learnings and experiences. I will now open up the forum for Q&A. I'll stop sharing.
Okay, Amit, thank you for this wonderful session. And I think we finished a bit earlier. So, right now we have only one question. This is from Anurag Venkat. He's asking, I'm working as a PMO at Aditya Birla,
Mhm.
and we are struggling to explain people why capacity planning is important, and the teams have moved into a non-compliance mode now. So, what do you suggest the way forward should be?
Okay. This question is a pretty nice question. It's actually two questions in one. Anurag, right?
Yes.
So, Anurag, I would like to answer your question in two parts. Okay. One, capacity planning is important. Um, there would be a CFO who would be funding. एंड ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आपके पास अनलिमिटेड रिसोर्सेस है. एंड ऐसा भी नहीं होता कि आपको जब चाहिए तब प्रोजेक्ट में जितना पैसा चाहिए वो दे देते हैं. सो व्हाट यू नीड टू explain to the management in quantitative terms is this are the planned versus actual efforts in terms of achieving the project and program. Now, there each project or program will have a cost to build. That cost will be rolled up based on tasks done by people. That is where the capacity planning is. So cost to build will be based on the work breakdown structure, tasks and deliverables. That is a very clean approach. You can showcase that this is my capacity. If you don't give this, I will not achieve your results. Then there's a cost to maintain and run, which comes out of operations, which comes out of maintenance, and which comes out of service request. So you will have to quantify if you are a customer facing, what is an average customer service ticket? What does the service ticket entail? What kind of maintenance is required? And how much effort is required to do all of this stuff? If you do not deliver this, then what is the impact in terms of financial terms? And if you have to deliver this, how many people do you need? This will be a very simple mathematical model you can present and showcase. This is what it means to be successful in building the project and operationalizing the project. That is the reason capacity planning is important. Now, teams have moved into a non-compliance mode is a little bit tricky to understand what kind of non-compliance. Have you been audited and flagged off, or is it non-compliant in terms of giving reports? What is it the non-compliance you're looking at?
Mhm. Anurag, can you post your answer here? I can tell Amit. Meanwhile, there is another question from Rohan Gupta. He is asking, what is the key difference between program and portfolio?
Um, one second. Okay, in theory, a program is a set of interrelated projects and various maintenance operational activities. A portfolio is a set of projects and programs that have a common pool of funding. A portfolio may be at an organization level that may have programs from IT, programs from finance, program from sales, program from operations. But they may or may not be related to each other, but they are funded from the same bucket. Okay, does that help?
Yeah, so Rohan, if you need any other clarification, you can mention the chat box. So next question is from Neha Gurnani. She's asking, what are the quick ways to explain the significance of PMO among the employees of organization?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'll just repeat again. What are the quick ways to explain the significance of PMO among the employees of organization? Like, how do we
That
explain the significance of PMO among our organization? The same what I discussed with you yesterday.
yeah. So Neha, there is no straightforward answer to it. One, you will need support from one of the executive sponsors or the leaders who believes that there is a need of a disciplined, structured process way. Then, in order to explain the significance of PMO, you will have to showcase in snippets of deliverables. What is your deliverable? What deliverable you're bringing? Now, this most simpler and easier way is driving the monthly review. The PMO can act as the integrator to drive the monthly business review. That should help because that will bring in your value contribution as well as what is it that the process will entail.
Next question is from Padma Iyer. She's asking, what is your suggestion in implementing a program management or project management culture in a traditionally non-PM sector like R&D in B2C or B2B FMCG?
So, thank you, Padma, for asking this question because a lot of people have a misconception that program and project management is only for IT. No, R&D programs and projects for business to business and business to consumer segment is objective. Objective has a value and value has a result. So, objective to value and result mapping is your project planning, and how you manage this is part of your project management practices. So if you have to implement, stop using the words which are very fancy like WBS, critical path, PERT. Stop using these words. Start using this objective. This is my timelines, and these are my key milestones. When you start doing that, people will first align to your schedule plan. Then start achieving your goals and results. When it comes to goals and results, you have to quantify this milestone means this much percentage progress. In FMCG, you may say market north, south, east, west. Market north constitutes of 30%, market south constitutes of 30%. So 30 and 30% market captured, 60% of the project objectives met. If you start giving your objectives against task, results and value against task, you'll be able to give a more convincing approach saying that you need to do the implementation of program and project management.
Okay. There is next question is from Mr. Commander Bharat. He is writing, Hi Amit, Commander Bharat here. Have been in PM field for almost 4 decades now. Wanted your
Mhm.
frank opinion if PMO is one of these hyped buzzword that we keep hearing after few months. Great projects were happening earlier too without PMO.
Yes, sir. Great projects were also happening without IT. They were also happening without computers. It is evolution, sir. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के बिना भी लोग इंटेलिजेंट थे। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आने के बाद में थोड़े ज्यादा हो गए। इट्स अ कैटलिस्ट रोल।
Okay. Next question is from Nishit Ganguly. He's asking, is transformation management office different to program management office? If yes, what is are the salient differences between the two?
Nishit, transformation management office is a subset of program management office. Transformation is one of the eight uh, segments that I had showcased. So, along with transformation, you also have to build and design the value.
Okay. Next question is from Anish Shrimali. He's asking, many public sector organizations have PMO in place, but is not functioning as expected due to governed by the government to implement some projects in very minimal time. So, due to this criticality, certain aspects of PMO are not functioning as expected. How?
Uh, Again, public sector organizations, when there are too many parameters and too many cooks who build the broth. So that is the reason PMO does not get the requisite value. That's a very honest answer. Too many people have the influence there. Second, when you have a program management office, you cannot be partial to it. You will have to hear the truth. You may choose to take a decision, but you have to hear the truth. Unfortunately, what happens in a lot of public sector organizations is they only hear what they wish to hear. That is where the criticality of PMO and their inputs dilutes. And yeah, I agree to your part. It is not functioning as expected because maybe the government has not given the focus. But in contrast to that, there's a Prime Minister's office, which is equivalent to a program management office. It functions very successfully and efficiently because they have an authority, they have a responsibility, and they have an accountability. And they have a vision which is driven by an executive sponsor, which is the Prime Minister. Okay.
Okay, next question is from Arpit Desai. He's asking, please explain few examples of Kaizens from different industries with respect to PPT terms mentioned.
Okay, guys, let me give you a very, very basic example. Um, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ले लो आप, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फील्ड के अंदर you're comfortable with Hindi, I give an example. So in manufacturing field, what happens is earlier there used to be physical Kanbans. Now they have gone to digital Kanbans. Now digital Kanbans now are also linked to images and photos, which are then internally tagged to quality team. This is a continuous improvement, Kaizen. Kanban, physical to Kanban, digital to tagged photos, images, which in turn is auto triggered to quality team. Now, this is part of continuous improvement. Over a period of time, you have to build it. Let's say earlier the project management was done on Excel. From there, they have moved to project management tools and techniques. From there, they have moved to various other models. There's artificial intelligence already in place, and artificial intelligence thus acts as infinity tool. Let's take PMI infinity tool. That also acts as a value addition. So earlier people were very skeptical. That's Kaizen. Earlier people were averse to using requirement traceability matrix for IT projects. Now that has become a part of the basic BRD. You upload a BRD, it by default gets converted to a requirement traceability matrix. It thus gets allocated to respective people as ownership. It's continuous improvement. Digitization may be part of it, it may be part of the processes, it may be part of the culture. Somewhere somebody will have to start.
Okay. Next
A question
question.
from
This was question was from Arpit Desai. The PPT terms.
Yeah, I just answered that.
Yeah, sorry. Next question is from Garishma. Just yeah, Garishma Gupta. She's asking what core competencies or past experiences are most transferable into a project management role, even without a formal PM background.
ROI. Very simple language. पैसा, पैसे की लैंग्वेज सबको समझ में आती है। पैसा कैसा बनाया, पैसा कैसे बचाया, ये प्रोजेक्ट में वैल्यू कहाँ से जनरेट हुई, सबको समझ में आता है। यूनिवर्सल लैंग्वेज है। छोटे बच्चे से लेकर सीईओ तक सबको पैसा समझ में आता है। डज नॉट रिक्वायर अ फॉर्मल पीएम बैकग्राउंड। उसको दिखाना कैसे, might be a little bit of a formalized PM structure, but honestly, there are skill sets. Then, people skills. People skills are transferable into a project management role. Then, skills of connectivity, like task one to task two, dependencies management, risk, risk management are skills which are transferable to a project management role without a formal PM background. But I will say start with value or ROI. Yeah, most easy. I think there's a Q&A question here. Commander Bharat is already, yeah. Okay, Commander Bharat's
Yeah,
question is
I
already
already read
answered.
that.
Yeah, okay. Kaizen, we have done that.
All are answered as of now. I have one ambiguity as I was discussing with you yesterday. And
Yeah,
since
yeah.
you are SME, I want to just clarify with you. Half of the answer was given yesterday, but I want to share with other people who are attendees. So,
Okay.
as per PMBOK, a project is a temporary endeavor with a definite beginning and end undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So, as I told you, since I'm into operations of inspection services and follow ISO 17020 requirements, we have to follow end to end operations right from quotation to service delivery as a project coordinator or a project manager. So, will it fall under project management or project service delivery? Because we
I
don't have
think
any global PMO setup. We are just getting the
so.
projects. We are into global team, but then we are doing everything. But then we are okay. We are into coordination team. But then we have to follow as per ISO 17020. See, we want to certify those. We have to follow that processes, which are very stringent. So just wanted to confirm whether it will be project management. I don't think so actually.
It will be program management because project plus operations plus maintenance will be a program. Your project can be as simple as I wanted to manufacture this, this is manufactured, this is completed, done. It's a unique product, it's a limit planned time, start and end. But then you have services on top of it, which is operations. So the program entails everything. Now, while you may build a best in class product or a best in class service, that will be only as successful as the operational support you provide. So if you take it from a holistic perspective, it's a program. Under the program, it will be subset. Okay, this is build, this is manage and operate. It will be service delivery under one program.
Okay. So basically, it is project service delivery.
Yes, yes, it is terminology wise, you call it project service delivery. I'll say it's program operations.
Okay. Thank you. We have two more questions. One is from Aniket S. How value can be realized and presented by IT division within manufacturing company when there is no financial ROI measured?
Superb question. Aniket, take
Yes.
out IT and tell them how many more people they'll need to put in. You take
Aniket.
out IT out of the picture and say, if IT is not there, this is what successfully not running, then these are the additional people you need to do. It will be as simple as that. Manufacturing, man, you don't have an MES, you don't have a digital Kanban, you'll have to write on paper. That person will take some minute to come down. Then that person will hand over the paper. There will be multiple departments coming and handing over the paper. And then there will be some person who will be internally doing the planning and reconciliation. This is done or not done. That is where you have a time. and effort calculation to come up with a financial ROI. It may not be incremental, but it will be a financial ROI in terms of the time and effort.
Okay, so Aniket, I think you got your answer. So I think IT division is only a support system for manufacturing companies since I am into mechanical background. So next question is from Anish Shrimali. He's asking ROI on certain project specifically in training system is difficult to estimate. How it can be tackled?
Good. ROI. ROI is not always quantitative, it can be qualitative also. You can give in a score. Let's say the training. What is the objective of a training? Let's say the training is on Excel. Excel automation or power pivots and other things. They save time. You can quantify it in terms of time. They save error. Error proofing is good. I'll give a very simple example. Excel में you put in system rules, you put in formulae, error proofing अच्छी हो जाती है. The minute you do error proofing, you save a lot of risk. You can quantify the number of risks that you have encountered in this last financial year on not using Excel. That can convert into ROI. You can give it in effort, you can give it in time, you can give it in cost, you can even give it in terms of quality. You can even say the ROI would be I am able to pass my audit. That's also an ROI. Quantitative and qualitative. As you rightly said, it is not always in INR terms or dollar terms, but it can definitely be tagged in terms of minutes of work or effort.
Okay. One suggestion has been given, or we can say it is a request from Nishit Ganguly. He is writing Balakrishna Industries is a conglomerate with multiple business interests. Request to shed light on which businesses have seen exponential growth contributing to higher revenues with a program management approach.
Nishit, some of the company confidential data can't be shared here. But rest assured, if I am coming on the forum and sharing something, it is because I have been supported and it is valued in the organization.
So Nishit says, okay, no issues if you cannot share. So that is a conflict of interest. So I think that is the he says thanks also. So that is the last question as of now. So I think Sunil, can you share the certificate of appreciation, please? One more question has come from Tushar. He is asking PPT had some great information. Can we get the offline version for future reference?
I'll work with Shikha on that.
Sunil, can you share the certificate of appreciation, please? Thank you, Amit, for your wonderful session. And
Okay.
we will be presenting you a certificate of appreciation as a token of thanks. So, Sunil, I'm waiting for that. Sunil, Tushar, let me share. Otherwise, I think there is some problem at your end. Acha, he's sharing. So, Amit, please accept this certificate of appreciation from PMI Mumbai chapter, signed by our president, Mr. Jacob
Definitely.
Zakaria. And thank you for your wonderful and very interactive session. And so, also the attendees who have joined today's session, feedback form link for sharing your feedback is already shared. And please note down the PDU code shared in chat box, and you can claim 2 PDUs for this session. So thank you once again, Amit, for your insightful session, and thank you to all the attendees who joined in this session. Amit, we want to really invite you for presenting other interesting topics in coming months. So just please accept those invitations also. So meet you in next session soon. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shika. I'll take your leave now. I will connect with you separately for the slides on sharing.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Bye.
you.